We'll be okay. Don't worry.
Get out! Get out! You heard him! Leave now!
3 kids and no one to help you. The words dripped with scorn as the relatives slammed the door, leaving the soldier and his children standing in the cold. They thought he was broken. They thought he was finished. But when $100 million secret was revealed, the ones who turned away will be forced to bow their heads in shame. The soldier stood still, his 3 children pressed close against him, their eyes wide with confusion. His family, his own blood, stood on the porch, arms crossed, lips tight with judgment. Left us behind when you joined the army, one muttered. You made your bed. Now lie in it. Another snapped. The door shut. The sound was final, heavy, echoing louder than any battlefield explosion he had ever endured. For a long moment, he couldn't move. He had fought in distant lands, carried his brothers through fire and gunfire, but nothing, not even the sting of shrapnel, hurt like this. 3 pairs of eyes looked up at him. His eldest son, just barely a teenager, clenched his jaw, fighting tears. The younger 2 clung to his sleeves, their tiny hands trembling. He forced a smile for them. It's all right. We'll be all right. But inside, his heart cracked, was a man who had given his best years to service. He had stood watch in deserts where the heat burned through his boots. He had shivered in cold nights where frost clung to his eyelashes. He had buried friends with shaking hands and saluted flag-draped coffins, promising he would never forget. And yet, when he came home, the very people who should have held him close turned their backs. Days blurred into months. He worked where he could, construction sites, late-night security shifts, hauling boxes for warehouses. Some nights he skipped meals so his children wouldn't. Their home was small, barely holding together, but within its thin walls lived a stubborn joy. They laughed at bedtime, huddled close, telling stories. He never let them see the nights he cried quietly, alone. The world outside whispered about him. Neighbors spoke in hushed tones. That's the soldier whose family left him, they said. People averted their eyes at grocery stores, some with pity, others with disdain, but he walked tall. He had taught himself long ago that silence is a weapon, and dignity is armor. Still he carried a secret. Years earlier, in the middle of his service, a program had been created. It wasn't publicized. It wasn't meant for recognition. A trust fund, quietly built from the pooled resources of fallen comrades. Investments managed carefully, silently. He had been chosen to oversee it after others fell. And over time, without him speaking a word, it had grown into something beyond imagination. $100 million. But he had never touched it. To him, it was sacred, a living tribute to those who could not come home. The day everything changed was ordinary at first. He was fixing a broken fence when a sleek car pulled up. Lawyers stepped out with briefcases and documents. The children froze, watching strangers in suits approach their father. The neighbors peeked out of windows, curiosity sparking. The soldier listened quietly as the papers were explained. The trust was no longer just in his care. It was his and his children's, by law and by right. Every cent of it. The children's mouths fell open. His hands shook not from greed, but from the weight of what it meant. Security, a future, a way to honor his brothers and sisters by building something lasting. News spread faster than wildfire. By evening, whispers had turned into shouts. And soon, those same relatives who had abandoned him appeared at his door. This time, their faces were painted with false sweetness. Their arms reached out as if nothing had happened. We didn't. No, they stammered. We never meant. The soldier stood in the doorway, his children behind him. His posture was straight, his eyes steady. He didn't yell. He didn't curse. He didn't remind them of the nights he had begged for help and been ignored. He simply said true loyalty isn't built on what someone has. It's built on who they are when they have nothing. The word struck harder than any fist. Silence fell. The relatives lowered their heads, shame burning their faces. He closed the door, not in anger, but in peace. This time, The silence was his victory. In the months that followed, the soldier didn't waste a gift. He poured resources into schools, shelters, and programs for veterans. He created scholarships in the names of the men and women he had lost. Overseas, his children watched with pride as their father turned pain into purpose. He never spoke of revenge. He never flaunted his wealth. For him, the true treasure was not the number in a bank account. It was the sound of his children's laughter in a safe home, the knowledge that their future was secure, and the dignity of living with honor. And though the world now called him the man with $100 million, to his children he would always be something far greater. The father who never left, the father who never gave up, the father who turned abandonment into triumph. Some stories are remembered for their wealth. Others are remembered for their lesson. This one was remembered for both. Sometimes the people you trust most will walk away when you need them most. But life has a way of revealing the truth. This soldier's story teaches us that honor is wealth, loyalty is priceless, and dignity is the one treasure no one can take. What does true loyalty mean to you? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories that honor sacrifice, courage, and silent strength.